Hello, BookTube. Today for Tag Tuesday, I will be returning to my reprise of the alphabet tags created by Jim of Jim's Books, Reading, and Stuff. Today, the I tag. I is for immunity and inoculation. Have you been vaccinated yet? So again, these tags were created in 2021 during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. At the time, the vaccine for the COVID virus was beginning to be distributed. I have been vaccinated. I was vaccinated a few months before this tag was created in April. If I remember correctly, I went to McLean Stadium in Waco, which is where they were doing the city-supported or the county-supported vaccination drive. And I received the two Pfizer doses of that initial vaccine. And then a few months later, I received the booster. I have not, however, had any subsequent boosters. I'm hoping to get a booster sometime later this year when I get my flu shot. Hopefully, I will also be getting a flu shot. I am not particularly known for keeping up my doctor's appointments or making doctor's appointments. I is for Iago. Who is the most sinister villain in your reading and why? I would think the most sinister villain so far that I've encountered in my reading is Tsukasa from Tolapan Hanako-kun. Tsukasa is the twin brother of Amane, Hanako-kun. So in this setting, there's a school that was built over an entrance to the underworld, effectively. That in earlier centuries, young women in the village were sacrificed. And once that no longer became quite acceptable, various hauntings, and once the school was built, various hauntings became sort of pillars that maintained the separation between the living world and the supernatural world. So there are 7 of them. And initially in Taliban Hanako-kun, a student named Nene goes to visit the Hanako-kun stall to ask a wish. It goes poorly, and she eventually becomes his assistant, alongside another student who is a trainee exorcist. And they're trying to maintain the proper relationships between the living and the supernatural at the school. However, Tsukasa, for unknown reasons, is manipulating the supernaturals. The stories told about them, making them more malicious, more malignant, and forcing Amane and his friends to strip the positions of the other 6 major hauntings, 7 wonders of the school or 7 mysteries of the school, which is some unknown. Like what Tsukasa's goal is unknown, but he is sinister in the sense that he's incredibly malicious and malignant and psychotic, but he is also very much uh, hilarious too. There's sort of how one of his allies, Sakura, kind of describes him as a cat. He's very cat-like. That there are points where he's like almost like there were some points where he's somewhat helpful, although there's always a sinister tinge to it of what exactly he's after. And so I think that sort of there's this menace, but also he's kind of like a cat. So it's, yeah. So I think he's currently the most sinister villain. Another good candidate for the most sinister villain I've encountered would be Muzan from Demon Slayer. Muzan is the first in this setting, the first demon, and he's seeking a way to be able to walk in sunlight. Most demons are incapable of surviving sunlight, and his slaughter of the main character Tanjiro's family and turning his sister Nezuko into a demon is furthering this agenda, but he is just completely sinister and malignant. Just okay. I is for Italy. What is the last book you read by an Italian author? I recently, a few months ago, read or reread Brief Homage to Pluto by Fabio Pastola. It's a selected collection of his poetry, which I quite enjoyed. Both of my readings of this collection by Pastola I've quite enjoyed. Although now that I think about it, he might actually be Swiss, although writing in Italian. But I'm going to go with him anyway. If not him, then it would be uh, Pascoli, because I read his collection a few weeks before, I think. So anyway, um, I'm pretty sure it would be Pistola. Um, I is for Ireland. Who is your favorite Irish author? I haven't really read much Irish literature. And so the closest would be Seamus Heaney, I think. Although I don't have anything by Heaney. It's been a very long time since I read anything by Heaney. So, yeah. I is for ink. Do you have any tattoos? No. What do you think of tattoos? They're okay in moderation, and particularly for other people. Um, I is for inspiration. What book inspired you to do something? Perdido Street Station by China Mieville inspired me to want to write fantasy fiction um, in a really big way. It blew me away. I is for Istanbul. Which city or cities would you like to see before you die and why? So I would like to visit Istanbul for the history, for um, the sort of kind of culture. I would also like to visit London and Berlin and Tokyo and Beijing, a whole bunch of places, largely for like the museums and historical sites, but also cultural reasons as well. And I is for many book titles. What is the last book you read beginning with an I? So this question is a bit embarrassing because as I was thinking about this question, I was struggling to remember what the last book with that started with an I was. And so I was actually going to use an author name instead. But then I remembered that actually about a week or so ago, I did read a book that began with I. I thought there would be no I thought there would be more wolves by Sarah Ryan. It's a slim volume of poetry that I've had for a few years now, and I've been toying with the idea of unhauling it or purging it from my collection the next time I do a book purge, um, which in some ways is a subject for a video idea I've been having for uh, a while that I've been struggling with trying to make a video of about my thoughts on the part of my library that I call classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama. And so I'm thinking there are a number of poetry collections that I've had for a few years now that I don't exactly love. That maybe I should send on their way the next time I sort of clear out books for my library. And I probably should focus a bit more on classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama uh, than I did last time. My last purge was much more heavily aimed at science fiction and fantasy and history. And it looks like, at least right now, history is going to get another whacking in my next purging. But anyway, that's topics for other videos. So hopefully, I'm going to try once while I'm uploading this one to talk about the classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama struggles that I'm having. But if that doesn't work out, there will be another video coming soon because I do have a manga haul. So until I see you next time, thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.